What's up, everybody? Good afternoon. Happy Monday. This is Chris. I'm here with Rohin Dua, and we're going to be doing some live SEO audits today. But first of all, once you get on, and there's nobody on yet, so you don't even know that I'm asking you to do this, but once you do get on, let me know if you can see and hear us okay, because we don't want to talk to ourselves, although I do that all the time anyway. But Zahn is asking if we can review his site. Buddy, there's a link in the description. We actually already have today's picked out. But if you fill out that application, this is going to be a recurring show, so we'll be happy to get to it eventually. Just fill out that application, and we'll get to it as soon as we can.
Yep.
Rohin, how's everything going with you, buddy?
Good, Mike. Good. Busy day.
Good.
Yeah. How's everything going? Good?
I literally could not be better.
You guys have just started your day, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's like noon here, so it's like halfway through. Well, not really halfway through the day for a normal person. For me, it'll be like a quarter.
Yeah. No, it's 9:30 up here.
Past your bedtime.
Yeah, that's true. It's probably gonna finish after this one, and we'll go to bed.
Jim says, "Hi everyone, happy Monday." What's up,
Hey,
Jim?
Jim, what's up, man?
So we got some people rolling in now. We'll get started in about 2 or 3 minutes. Do you have anything you'd like to talk about before we get into today's excitingness? That's not a word, but
Nothing exciting as such.
Okay, well, that doesn't help me kill time.
Yeah, no. Pretty much the same day, Mike. Same thing, same show. Because we are rolling out a lot of things at the moment. A lot of marketing efforts are going on to scale the campaigns. So yes, that's the only exciting thing I can think of.
Awesome. You can tell an entrepreneur when that you ask them what's exciting and they talk about new business opportunities. So I do the same thing. People are like, how's everything going? And they're wanting to know like how my life is. Well, we got this one new campaign that's going on, and then I signed this new, and like they're like, oh, I wanted to know about you. I was like, well, that is me.
No, I've got a lot of social stuff going on as well.
Awesome. Kathy says hello. Hello, Kathy. Clifton says we are live. What's up, Clifton?
Hey, Mike.
All right, man, I'm going to go ahead and toss it over to you while I'm sharing this around. You can go ahead and get started. Do you know how to grab the screen?
I do know that, Mike.
Jim says you're getting your emails, Rohin. They're on point.
Oh, great. Thanks for Jim. Thanks for turning up, Mike. I appreciate that.
So what you want to do is you see at the bottom, there's like a little bar. Yeah. You want to click share screen.
All right. So going to do it now.
All right. And now I'm going to add that to the stream. And what I'm going to do is switch it to all we see is the screen.
All right. So is it all good to go?
I think so. Everybody, can you let me know if you can see Rohin's screen, please? I'm sure it is. I'm seeing it, so I'm sure it's good.
All right.
Fire when ready.
All right. So in last episode, we actually covered the link building stuff. So how to build links, how to make it easy, how to scale the campaigns as well, rather than just focus on one campaign at a time, how we can use the different kind of strategies, and we can smash out 3 or 4 or 5 campaigns simultaneously without much of an effort. It's all like a management only. So you pick up the different URLs, go for it, and just keep checking the emails, negotiation, and build the links. This week episode, we are just going to talk about website audits. It's something which is one of my favorite one. I do it all the time. I can do it on the fly, you can say that. So we got a lot of interest, and among them, I picked up 5 different sites. So 2 of them are good. Some of them are having issues. But that's okay. We'll go through that. So the very first one, teleportmoving.com, has been given by Kevin Pauls. And the main keyword is movers, Orlando, Florida. So what I did, as a step 1, I always try to run the site via Screaming Frog, because that's my favorite tool. So what I did, I picked up this site, threw it in the Screaming Frog, although this is a different one, started, smash it. Once you get the results, go to HTML. So everything will be all. you have to come to HTML, export the results. Although you can, if you're aware about this one, Screaming Frog doesn't have a very user-friendly kind of a dashboard. That's why most of people plan to export it, or they usually go to some other tools. So there are plenty of tools available in the market. Website Auditor, you can go with Deep Crawler. And for content side, obviously it's either Auditor you can try, or you can try Surfer as well. Okay, so what I do is I usually export this one, or else you can plan to look at these tabs and can go through them as well. So let's say if I want to see from atomicdesign.net, that's the site I've got in front of me. So if I have to see from this page where the inlinks are coming and where the outlinks are actually going, I can see them on the fly. So I can see from this one to this one it's going, and using what anchor text, that's the anchor text. So this is how you can actually play around with that. A lot of people doesn't really use this particular feature in Screaming Frog, but you can actually go to visualization and you can click on crawl tree graph. And this is how you can look at the complete silo structure of your website. You can look around that, you can see if everything from the home page, how many click depth is that. So from the home page, if it's going to services, and from services, it's going properly to other pages or not, then you can go and fix up the things accordingly. So it's a very, very handy feature you can use. And then rather than just going through so many different things, you can simply hover on this one and you can zoom this and you can look around this too. All right, anyways. Back to the topic. So HTML, I usually export this, and then I've got this this thing in which I dump the data and use a condition monitoring. It all happens by automatically, and I get these kind of results. So what I'm trying to see up here, the very first thing is 404. So this is as general what I do, and then I'll jump straight to teleport moving, and we'll talk about this side only. So what I normally do is I usually apply the filters, pick up the 404s, then I see if those 404s are worth fixing up or not, because in this particular case, it's non-indexable. Although it's non-indexable, but the second thing I need to say is if there is any kind of link which is going from any page, let's say home page, footer, or anywhere, I mean, like it's going to this particular 404. If that's the case, then it's a problem. Then we need to fix it up, no matter if it's non-indexable or indexable. So usually my guys, they normally go through this and they try to fix it up, all these 404s, and then we try to look into the canonicals and 301s. But what we have to look here is 202. So let's focus on 202 only. So what I'll do is I'll pick this one. Then we need to fix it up, no matter if it's non-indexable or indexable. So usually, okay, I'm getting marvelous. So then what you need to do is just go and apply the filters on this sheet. I think it's on. Then we usually go and apply the filters, look into all those missing meta titles, meta descriptions, and that kind of things. And that tells us a complete roadmap we need to follow. So we'll go use a 200 status code. I'll go for the missing title tags. Number one, missing meta descriptions. That's the second thing. Okay, so okay. So missing meta titles, meta descriptions, and then we have to go through any kind of like a multiple H2s and that kind of things. I think. All right. So let's focus on this particular one. So if I go to, okay. So this is the action plan what I have created for top port moving. Okay, so what I noticed when I did a Screaming Frog crawl for this particular site is it has got like a fill empty meta description. So that's a meta description. No matter if you're targeting those pages, not, but it's always a good practice to filter out your missing meta titles and meta descriptions and or anything which is above the normal characters, and just go and fix them properly. Then I noticed like this site has got this fill the form to get free estimates. That's coming as a H1 tag. So there is a one H1 tag, which is movers Orlando, and another one is this one. So what we need to do is we need to go and fix them up. Because Google, they rate it in the same format. When they're crawling the site, they understand with the help of H1, H2s, and H3s. So let's say if our first H1 is coming as Orlando movers or movers Orlando, that's a good mark. They understand it's all about that. Then when they crawl, they believe, all right, it's fill this form and get it. That's the time when they get confused. So it's always a good practice to just use whatever is really required. What you can actually do is we can change this tag to a P tag or a H4, and then we can keep the fonts as same. So that way the looks of the overall site will be the same, but you can actually get rid of that extra H1 tag. So that's something what I noticed. Apart from the H2s and that kind of things are good. So if you look, or else we can change it at least two H2 and H3, what I normally go with. So anything, if there are more than two H2 or H3s, I usually change them to P tags or H4 tags, that kind of thing. And then what I did notice in this site, that there is a lack of geographical relevancy as well. So to build out a geographical relevancy in a site, what you can actually do is you can go to the site at the very end. You can add like how a person talk about the city itself, or you can talk like how a person can come from Orlando airport to the head office of this company, of this teleport moving, how they can come from, we can mention, or we can embed a proper map, and we can say like, all right, from there, take a left turn and a right turn, and then this is how you can reach our office. To create a map, it's super easy. Just go to google.com and /maps. So if I go to google.com/maps, and then I have to search for the business itself. So if it's teleport moving, so teleport moving, so I'll put this one up here, and Orlando. And then what we have to do after that is, okay, so we have already come up here. Then we have to go to, because it's a direction, sorry, it's the service-based one. That's one of the reasons why we can't really see it. Otherwise, you normally see a direction kind of thing up here, and you simply need to click on directions, and then they ask you, all right, direction to this business from where? And this is where we can put in Orlando. In this particular case, we can simply go to share. We can take an embed map. We can pick this particular map, and we can put it in the site. And because Google do understand that, so it's all cool. We can pick this method. Apart from that, we can mention out a bit about the city as well, so that that really going to help to build a strong topical and geographical relevancy from the on-page perspective. And then we have to cover a few things in the off-page site as well. So normally, all right, so this particular site has got, so if I go and open up this site in a browser, is something I want to show you. So if we go to this one, we'll go, and this is where your embed map and everything can actually go. So you're on the right hand side, you can embed a map. On the left hand side, we can write about how to reach our office, something like that. So services, our services and area we serve. I normally never try to put these kind of pages in my footer. I can put it in my header maybe, but I never put it in the footer myself, because this serves a whole silo structure. Rather, I want a smooth, because if it's in a footer, what can happen is, no matter if we are going with any other service areas or something, all these things gonna get interlinking by each other. And this is how the Google bot actually read the things too. So this is why I usually avoid that. But again, it depends on business to business, or who else is designing or working on the site, if they want to put it or not. Rankings wise, I'm very much sure it will not drop the rankings if you remove it from the footer. All right. So now coming to the off-page side. So got this up. All right, off-page, and this particular links, when I throw it in the in Href, the website doesn't have any backlinks. So the web page, I would say, this Orlando page doesn't have basically any backlinks. to Orlando page. And then majority of that do follow citations we have got. That's not even indexed in Google. So at the moment, what I have seen is that this page has got a potential. If you point out the proper backlinks, if you polish the H1s or H2 a bit, there is a good chance that we can get it ranked very easily in top of search engines. Apart from that, what else we can do in the off-page side? We can go and build some localized properties. Localized property is when we go and build a city-based properties in using Web 2.0s. So that's localized properties. So local events we can create as well. So citation, local event, all this kind of, and Web 2.0 socials, all this kind of things to help to bring topical and geographical relevancy. So it's highly important, I say. So that's all I can say. And then what else you can do is you can pick up like GSA, Google Search Console, pick up the keywords from that, see for what particular pages the impressions are coming in, and then you can start adding those keywords in the web page as well. That's very good technique to get extra impressions, and slowly you're gonna start seeing the rankings going up as well for this particular site, Kevin. All right, so that's all about this teleport marketing. And yes, I do have a surfer link sitting up here as well before we go to the next one. So at the moment, the surfer is saying some of the keywords are having a high density, some of them are low. So probably I say once you go through the action plan, which I'm saying, just tweak it up, tweak your headings and all those kind of things. Then do a quick surfer run again and see what else they say. Because at the moment, what they are saying is like it's all cool, but there are few places they are saying to add more. So Orlando moving companies, they're saying that 8 to 21 is a suggestion. It is, but once you start adding that local geo map, which I'm saying at the bottom, you'll see this thing gonna kick up as well. So do that one before you jump onto this particular thing, and then point some backlinks to that page as well. Yes, because it's missing at the moment. The page is all struggling to sitting on page 2 or page 3, as you have mentioned. That is just with the on-page side only. So once you start pushing in the backlinks, you're going to see it will start moving up to the page 1 of Google. All right, so that's all about teleport moving. And before we go, this is what I was talking about. So no backlinks at all for this particular page. All right, so let's move on to the next one, which is US immigration lawyer Legiit, which has been given by CJ, and the main keyword is immigration lawyer in Legiit, Texas. The site has got a pretty raw design, what I've seen, and this is something we need to look at. So I've prepared this action plan for this site as well. All right, so at the moment there are about like 18 pages which is showing, and that's I've got yes, this one. So there are lots and lots of pages the crawler has showed me. So most of them are tags, most of them are category pages as well. There are some blog posts, I guess, as in that too. So but Google hasn't picked up all of them, which is okay, because maybe in the SEO plugin you have made some kind of tweaks to not to pick any category pages, but it is showing tag pages as well in Google. So probably go and remove the tag page, because it will not give you any benefits at all. It will not give you, it rather gonna create some kind of like a keyword cannibalization problem, but it will not help in the ranking side. So your first action plan would be to go to your rank math or all-in-one SEO, whichever you are using, just de-index this, no index, sorry, this tag thing. So because we don't want any tag things. We don't need much of category 1 local, or in local SEO, category pages won't really help much, although it depends on the site to site. I can't really say 100%, because in some of the sites we do use category pages as well, but normally we avoid them. So in the same action plan, what I always do, go to this one, go to your status code, fix any kind of 404s, then go to this missing meta titles, meta descriptions, any kind of meta titles, which like these red ones. all these one are above 60 characters, so we need to go and fix them too. So these are something very important. And for meta titles and meta descriptions, heading tag, what else can be done? There is a sweet trick which I always use. I have told my guys too, because in for some of the, for example, I'm in India at the moment, so we don't have any tree cutting kind of service up here. There's usually we ask our gardener, they usually come and do it. We don't have any professional tree cutting service only. So so it's a bit hard for my guys to understand each and every profession in United States or even in Australia which is happening. So what we always tell them is, let's say if this is the one US immigration bureau, and this is my main keyword. What I'll tell them is just go to Google and put in some big keyword, like change the city, put in the same keyword. So if I'll put in let's say in London, I know it's not that easy to actually rank in London. And whoever is ranking on the top results for this one, they have to hire some kind of good SEO company, then only they can sit up there. It's not because whichever the person do business, they do business. They don't really do all this SEO kind of thing. They definitely have hired some SEO company. So why should I go and do all the copywriting kind of work, and especially with my guys who doesn't really understand each and every terminology properly, when there is already something available up here? And we have tested it on hundreds of domains actually. If anyone who gonna come and tell me that this kind of thing gonna be considered as plagiarism and will not help, I'm gonna leave the show. I'm gonna leave this SEO show, because we have ranked so many sites using this way. So what I always do is we go to, for example, this one will go US immigration. So in this immigration lawyer in London, you can pick it up, whatever it is in London, just replace with your city. Do the same with the meta descriptions as well. If you want to tweak it up a little bit, you can. So for example, if this is the one, I'm gonna say immigration lawyer in that city, and then with the meta description, I'm probably gonna pick it up, or you can pick it up some other one, and then you can simply change the city in that. That way, it's gonna work like a champ. Same with the heading tags, not the content, the heading tags. So open up any of these cities. You can go to Sydney, you can go to London, whatever you want, and then simply go and pick their H1s, H2s. As far as they sound good, they are relevant, you can always go and add them as well. There is no way in the world that it can plagiarize the thing, because in reality, the Google works in the same way as well. They use all these footprints to understand the pattern. So that's one of the best way you can get some of the great rankings by using some of the proven results. And this is we use all the time. We never get any problem at all. So we can do the same thing with this one. So at the moment, if I go and if I say it really quickly, it's all a raw design. It's a very raw design. All this, no content is formatted properly. It looks like immigration lawyer location. These kind of things has been written just as a random words, and looks like the video is broken as well. And again, the same thing, and this and some reference links. So it looks like either he hasn't started working on the project yet, or if he has, then maybe he's going through the design phase, which is okay. So what we need to do is use these strategies and just tweak your H1s, H2, de-index your tags from the SERPs. So redesign is really required. Move sitemap. Yes, if we go to this site, you're gonna notice it's actually showing at the very bottom. Sorry, this one. So move this one to the footer. So probably they should work better in the footer. At the moment, they are different pages gonna sitting up here because they are public pages. So should not be sitting up here because it ultimately gonna chew up the link juice as well. You probably should remove these links which is provided by the thing. So probably remove them because there's no meaning of actually giving them a credit. And you can use the same. Although there are few basically maps up here as well, but probably use a proper one with the city site information as well. It looks like this is, you can make this one, move this one up here and use a clickable one so that someone can click on this, they can actually call. At the moment, it's going to the contact page. So lots of redesign and click rate optimization, CRO work is required on the site, which is okay. From the backlink side, at the moment, the site is not getting any backlinks at all. So if I go to href through this main domain, and there are two backlinks coming in. First of them is a Blogspot. Blogspot is good for topical relevancy, geo relevancy, but they will not give any kind of link juice. So they are not. We need some kind of heavy hitters up here to get on the page one, and Blogspot is definitely not one of them. And then this is another one. I haven't checked if this is indexed or not, but because it's a raw URL coming up here, so probably definitely the site needs a lot of work on the backlink side too. Schema was there, but I think they need to be polished. GMB is missing at the moment, so I did check there is no GMB, so probably need to go and make GMB as well. More than one page targeting for same kind of keyword. This is how I got an idea when I was looking at the site. I noticed there are some pages. I need to go and figure out that thing again. Yes, this home page and this page looks very much the same. I think we on the home page we are trying to rank for LIPOC immigration services as well. And if we got a separate page for this one, that won't help much. So yes, that won't help much. So definitely you need to remove any pages which we don't know and throw in the content in the main page, and have all your focus on the main page itself, because by the time you'll start ranking, you're probably gonna come into the keyword cannibalization problem for sure. So that's another thing. And hashtags need to get polished, which I've already said, because at the moment, if I go, I can see like the hashtags. That's a SEO meta in one-click extension, what I normally use. This meta description is way more than the normal characters, so you need to remove that. And then if we come, there is one H1 tag. So H1 tag is this one, which is fine, but the other H2 tags does. So this one is a city name. So city name won't really help much. You need to use a proper kind of H2 or H3 tags in pages. Probably remove this one from a H2 tag as well, because phone number H2 tag doesn't make much sense. Your H3 is sitting under your H1. Probably structure it in a way that your H2 should be sitting in the H1, H3 should be sitting in the H2. This is how the Google they read, and they believe it's a very friendly structure and going to help in the rankings too. Image alt text, it's two of the images has got alt text. Apart from that, it's all missing at the moment. So yes, that's all kind of a work need to be done on the on page and of the off page side as well. And yes, avoid using any kind of money anchors of social profiles. Don't use money anchors on the social profile. Do not waste your money anchors on the social profile. It won't really help much. Apart from that, as I said in the last project as well, you need to hook this site to GSA, Google Search Console and Google Analytics, and try to retrieve the impressions which Google is bringing in over the time, and have to start putting in those particular keywords as per the search volume, their importance, and to the web pages. That really gonna help a lot, because that's what the first-hand information, like I always say, the best thing to rank in Google, or the best place to rank in Google, is to think like Google. We need to think like Google. Whenever we are getting in any kind of problem, if we need any kind of data, rather than just looking here and there, we probably should go and ask Google. Because that's what they're going to give us the most best information. For example, let's say when you are putting in your main keyword up here, or anyone is putting in, they're going to see like all the inner pages, then definitely we need to go and build an inner page as well, because that's what the Google wants to see. If 8 out of 10 pages are inner pages, then try to go for the inner page. If 8 out of 10 or 7 out of 10 pages has got a GMB, that it means to get on the page one, we need a GMB. We cannot go aside. So we definitely need to go with that. So these kind of small things which gonna help us to rank better in SERPs. So that's all about this second project. So as an action plan, it's have to work on both on-page and off-page side. You can use this immigration lawyer lending technique I said, and then you can start tweaking out your missing metas and your and your other stuff too. Now coming to the third project. Sorry, I couldn't really get this particular project to be honest, because when I clicked on this project, it takes you to a WordPress site. So I'll just put it up here. So at the moment, that's been redirecting to the WordPress.com. WordPress.com really help much. No, it won't help much at all, because it's a social profile. You're probably gonna get a hard time that it can get de-indexed anytime too. We don't have a proper control in what I'm saying. So it's much better to route this one to a proper streamlined back.com. And I can see what else you can do is you need to work on the complete website. You need to add the content to the pages, because at the moment there's nothing much which I can tell you. Even if I check, I think the site is not even indexed as well. The site is not even indexed, so probably you need to do the work, and you can send us this site again once it's done, and we will go and have a look. All right, so the next project is from Chris. Chris, I know Chris very well. I've worked with him as well. Hey, Chris. So, all right, it's a privilege to work on your project now. So, with the atomic design, I did the same thing. I did a complete crawl. Chris, you have done a pretty good work on the page. What I picked up is a Nashville SEO page. I didn't go for the other website design or that word. So Nashville SEO, you have done a very good work. There's some tweaks only required, and that's it. I think the very first thing what I have picked up. So if I go and open up this link. And put this atomic design up here as well. So Chris, that's your heading tag hierarchy at the moment, is the way it is falling on the side. You have got these H1s as well, so probably remove them. I understand this is your I'm not saying that you should remove it, but probably change them to the P tag, because H1 having 1, 2, 3, 4 won't really help much. This is your bullet points, the one which you have mentioned on the side. So definitely you need to work it out. You need to remove or change this one to H4 as well, because it won't benefit you. Getting started is easy, reach out. It's more like a generic message. So change this one from your H1 to a normal tag to H3 or a P tag. And you can keep the font same as well, so that it won't disturb much. Apart from that, pretty good work you have done on H2s and H3s. I won't comment much on that. So it's all cool, all pretty good. So you've got like 6 H1 tags. Like I said, I want to see 1 H1 tag only on this page, if possible. And rest of stuff is not actually giving you any benefit. It probably can harm too. Because if you look from the Google perspective, you're going to notice that Google is looking at Nashville SEO, and they're going to say, all right, this page is about Nashville SEO. And now they are going and start looking at the different H1 tags and this generic one. This is the time when they actually get confused. They're not really sure that what the page is all about, because H1 and H2s are some of very main headings, and we need to choose them very, very properly. So this is what you need to fix. Apart from that, your backlink profile. All right, so that's your backlink profile. Okay, so you've got like 112 do follow links, but to this Nashville SEO page, but there are only 2 to 3 links what I've seen are actually worth keeping. And apart from that, it's all the subdomains, AMP blogs, this business site is all right. This one, all these are subdomains which are not even indexing Google. In reality, if you're gonna ask me, then I would say there are only 2 to 3 links which are going to this particular page, and that's it. There are only 2 to 3 links. Apart from that, it's all crap. It won't help you much, because they are not even indexing Google. If you have got some PBNs which Href hasn't picked up, that's a different thing. Then you need to look what kind of anchor text or something you have used. But if you look at 2 to 3 links, what are left, then there is this footer links. Footer links are okay, not a problem, but you probably need to start adding more quality links to your Nashville SEO page, and that will give you a good bump in rankings as well. Apart from that, there is absolutely no problem what I've seen in the site. Yes, you should run the site via Surfer as well. So I did via Surfer, and Surfer was saying like to add few things which are missing, some terms which has been over optimized, like Nashville SEO company. I think that's over optimized. So you need to go and run it via Surfer and see if that gonna bring some kind of like a different changes. But yes, definitely it's a very big keyword, and you need a good link juice coming to the site as well. So that's all about the local projects. And at the very end, we have got this affiliate project as well. Best Smart Light Switch has been given by Joe Cook. So, and Joe, I looked at the site, Best Smart Light Switch. I know you're sitting at position number 40th, I think, 23rd, 24th, something like that. But it's a big one. It's a big keyword, because if you look at the page one, I've got this up here. You're gonna notice maybe it's the results a bit different from my IP. Maybe at your IP could be different, but if you look at this one, DR 94, 85, 90, and these are all the big pages. Focus pages, Smart Light Switch. These are not the randoms one. So you're gonna see all these are Smart Light Switch, all these keywords, 76, 51. You're probably gonna get a hard time to actually get on page one, because the fight will be tough, as I. So what my personal advice to you is that you should actually go after, rather than, you can focus on this one in the long run, but you probably go after more like as secondary words, or maybe try to add more categories into that. So one of the best way, and this is something I use personally for my affiliate sites too, what I normally do is I throw in my main keyword. So if this is my main keyword, let's Best Smart Light Switch, I'll go through the results. I always turn on this href extension, and then I start looking at anything which is under DR20. So I keep looking at the DR20, no matter, all right, this one's 0, but the traffic is 36.5, just let's leave it. All right, DR17, and the traffic is 31,000. It means that this is worth looking at. So you can see there is 3 RD, but I'm not really concerned about this 3 RD or something at the moment. I'm not really going after this particular word I'm saying. All I'm going after, I want to see what other keywords this DR17 site is ranking, what other topics. So I can start adding those topics in my site too, and if they are closely bind to my Smart Light Switch, it's a biggie. It's a bonus for us. Apart from that, it's still, you can add more different kind of categories, related categories to the site, and grow the traffic over time. And this is something we have used, and it has given us good results. For example, you can start looking at DR24. Such traffic is not much. All right, DR13, and it's 13,000. So what you can do is you can pick this this particular result. You can go to href and you can see for what other keywords the site is ranking. But if we go at your result, this one, so I'll go to the extension again. I say Best Smart Light Switch. So yes, this one is still all right, because you got like a primary keyword, but I don't know, Best Dimmer Wireless Switch Light Review 2020. What's the purpose of this one in this one? So you need to actually go and write a meta description properly. Apart from there, your heading text, your H1 is fine. You probably can add more into this, like Best Smart Light Switch comparison guide, something like that. And then you can add your H2 just above your main, add a bit of more introduction up here, and then add your H2, and then this thing gonna fall. And yeah, you probably, the content side is all good. Content is not a problem. I think it's more at the backlinks, what you need to point it to the site, and probably it will take some time as well. So I've got a bit of a roadmap sitting up here for you too, and then let's go through it. Okay, so tweak the hashtags. Like I said, all big sites sitting on page one, weak backlink profiles. So yes, definitely you need to work on the backlink side too. Rather go after small keywords, because this keyword, as we have mentioned, like it's they're gonna be a tough one once you get on the page one. Because once you get on the page one, then obviously you need to do a lot of work to get on the top 3 results where you will get the proper traffic. So I would say keep working on this page, but start adding your more focus on the different categories which are more easy to rank. What you can do is you can pick up your competitor sites. You can go to Href, throw that URL, go to top keywords, and then in the keywords, select the positions from 5 to 20. And then the minimum traffic would be 300 for affiliate site, I would say. And those are the quick wins. And then you need to start working on those keywords. And the same strategy you can actually use for your existing site too. And you can see which keywords are sitting between 5 to 20, and then you can start working on those ones, because those are more easy to come to the page one because they're already sitting close to the page one. So this is how you can actually bring in the more traffic over the time. So like I said, pick more DR20 kind of sites from SERP itself and see in which topics they are working, and then start working on those keywords. And that's it, Chris. That's all about it, these 5 sites. And I'll give the action plan for this one to you so that you can pass on to the guys.
Woo! That was I'm at a loss for words for what that was. That was like $5,000 worth of audits in a half an hour, 40 minutes. So first of all, everybody that's still that's watching, please thank Rohin for taking the time to do that. That's not something that would come cheap, and it's really, really valuable information. So we whatever questions you have, go ahead and drop those in. I also dropped in a link where you can get Rohin's help with SEO if you're looking for it. So that's superstarseo.com/whatever you see on your screen there. And let me see if we've got if I missed any questions. Dean says this guy is a gem. Thanks, but what about Rohin?
Well, thanks, Ian.
Rohin says, thanks, Chris. We're looking forward to that. Okay, this is older. Zan says, can you audit my site? Just drop it. There's a application link in the description on YouTube, and we'll get to it in a future week, because we're going to keep doing these every couple of weeks, or fortnightly, as Rohin has explained the term to me. Kathy, PJ, Simo says hello. What's up, Simo?
Hey, Simo.
Jim says yes. Punit says hello, Chris. Hello, Rohin. What's up, Punit? Dario says hello. What's up, Dario? And this is referencing back to the first one you did. He says, what do you put in the footer then?
I usually go with my public pages, like a privacy policy, like this About Us page. These kind of links are usually put in my footer, because no matter if you're putting in, if they get mixed up in the silo structure as well, it won't harm my complete site rankings over time.
Great.
So yes, any kind of like public pages should be good.
Chinaka says, like happy love. Thank you, Chinaka. Chris says, if you want Rohin and my help with your SEO, go to that link. He also said that on YouTube and on Twitch. And he tried to say it on Periscope, but it didn't work. Jim says, thank Rohin. Jim says, after Chris, you're my favorite SEO superstar.
Thanks, Jim.
Hector says, Rohin, thank you. Chuck says, good stuff. Clifton says, thanks. Reading Communications Inc., there's your free plug, says, when building a WP site, do you recommend one website builder or another in terms of SEO, Divi versus Elementor versus WP Bakery, etc.?
No, it doesn't really matter at all.
No.
It's just a web page builder only.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Elementor, but that's because I like the interface. It has nothing to do with the SEO.
Exactly, yeah.
Tebi Chiropractic and Sports Medicine Clinic in Charlotte, North Carolina. Quick plug for you there, Alan. Says, wonderful information. Thank you, Rohin and Chris. Thank you.
Oh, thanks, man.
Nauman says, when looking at GSC, for those that don't know, that means Google Search Console, or formerly Google Webmaster Tools. For growing impressions from certain keywords, how do you add those keywords in the content or H tags?
All right.
You add them in the content or in the H tags, not how to do it.
Oh, do I add? It depends on the search volume and what sort of keywords. Let's say if there is a keyword which is giving a lot of impressions, obviously I'm gonna add that keyword in my H tags, because I know that keyword is having a good search volume. Google is already showing me the impressions. So why would I add them to the content? I'll probably try to add them in my H1 or H2 tags.
All right. Nathan says, adding public pages on header, will it have a negative impact on page rank?
No, it's still all right. You're putting in the footer or putting in the header. It's still the same thing at all. I usually try. See, I never said like putting the service pages or that kind of thing is always a bad thing. No, but I'm saying like we don't really do that. I don't really recommend that to put them in the footer. So always try to put the public pages in the footer. Always try to put like I use my main pages for interlinking purpose. So that's what we do, because we have got a big data sitting behind us with like 300 to 400 campaigns. We do it like every single month. So we know what kind of stuff is actually working in the local SEO, especially. Majority of my projects are in local or else the e-com. So we don't do it. I usually don't tell my guys to, if we see it, we ask the client and we get removed.
Akshay says, this new segment that both of you have been doing has been awesome. Subscribe to YouTube and we'll continue to attend future sessions. Awesome. Glad you're benefiting from it. We enjoy doing it as well. I especially enjoy having Rohin on because there's less for me to do that way, which is really my goal in life, is to do as little as possible. I'm kidding, but not really. Faz says, thanks, man. Can you give a review of all your extensions? Maybe that's a good idea. Like, maybe not right now, but can you put together like a list of some of the tools you use, and I'll just drop it in the description?
Yeah, but to be honest, I don't really use too many tools. It's probably going to take
like Screaming Frog, and there was
Screaming Frog is one of my favorite ones because I can literally crawl so much information. And see, SEO, I was talking to Chris before this one, the SEO is not hard. It's pretty simple as far as we have got a quality to actually read the data. If we can read the data, for example, I told you guys, like if the top 10 results, majority of the results are the inner pages, you need to go after the inner pages. That's something you need to read. If you see that they've got GMBs, you need to go after the GMBs as well. If you say that how the data has been structured up in your top 10 results. So if my other keywords or my other competitors, they have picked up the keywords and they have put it in a different fashion, you should do it in the same fashion as well, because that's what Google wants to see. If my page one, my anchor text is all branded for top 10 results, its average is branded, I need to go after the branded stuff as well. So we always go and read the data when we start any new campaign before we go and do it. I'll actually send you guys one of our on-page template, the one which we use. And the best part is that we have tried to make it very simple because we have added some kind of like a Google extensions into them. And we add the URL, it just pulls the data from that page, and then we go and make the changes. So make the changes doesn't take too long for my guys because of the trick I told you. There's not many people who actually use it. It's a very good one because I don't need to do any kind of copywriting for that one. All the copywriting is done, all the meta keywords and all the main keywords, everything is already done. And those has been done by some of the best guys in the industry because they are already ranking for SEO London, SEO New York. And it's super duper hard to actually rank for these kind of, it's not from the off page can only complement if the on page is good. And they have done a tremendous good job on the on page. So why would I go and reinvent the wheel if everything is in front of me? I'll simply go and do it. Like I said, we have got so much results, we have got so much data to prove this thing that it will not give any kind of penalty at all. We have tested it so many times.
All right.
So coming to the extension, sorry Faz, I missed that. Coming to the extension for data crawling, we use Screaming Frog. And then obviously SEO Meta in one click, which I use to actually read the information. And we use Surfer for once everything is done, then we go and make any final tweaks or something. We use Surfer, and apart from that, I use Href. We have got an in-house tool as well. I'll see if I'll throw it to Chris, and if you can throw it in the chat box. So that's in-house tool we have got. So Chris, if you can put this one, and it's a crawler. So it's just simply we throw in like few different kind of words in that one, and then it can go basically the URL. So I pick up like 5 to 6 different URLs sitting on page one. I simply throw it in them, and then it shows me the heading tag hierarchy, the schema, if any schema, what my computers are using. It's simply like so much information I can gather, and I can play it at the same time. And that's all about reading data and taking the actions. And this is all the stuff what I do.
All right.
So Chris, I've pasted that one in a chat box, and so you can give it to them.
XJ says, on lead gen sites, is it better to have a unique page for each service offered, or would that cause keyword cannibalization?
Yeah, of course. I mean, like if it's a service offer, let's say you have got a different services, you probably should put the different pages for them too. So if it's a tree cutting, different page, tree pruning, different page. We cannot put everything on a single page. It won't help much. So treat them like a different shop, like a showroom. So you've got like a different locations, you've got like a different service, put them up there. But yes, the only difference between the shops and this one is like in shops, you pretty much can everything. But in this one, Google wants to see what this page is all about and then try to rank yourself. So if you're putting in the SEO and the web design in the same page, so that won't help much. You need to go through basically a different page. Again, that comes down, Akshay, to the top 10 results as well. Like I said, you throw in, whenever I get confused, because see, SEOs, the only thing we believe is we know a little more better than the normal person because we understand the Google algorithm a bit. So when I get confused or my guys get confused or we doesn't get a proper answer, what we need to do, we always try to throw the keyword in Google and we see what the trend is showing us. Is the Google is saying to actually use the separate page for that? If that's the case, I'll go and put the separate page for it. And if it's you throw in the two different kind of words and then you get like see that the same kind of pages are popping in for both of them, then that means that Google is okay if you want to use the same page for different keywords as well.
All right. Susan says, how do I get the template he just mentioned and the list of extensions?
That's okay. I'll throw that in the Facebook comment box probably tomorrow, first thing in the morning.
All right. And Chris shows the link to the crawler. He showed it again on YouTube and on Twitch and on Periscope. So, all right, we're caught up on questions. We got about 8 minutes left. So if you have any more questions for Rohin or myself, go ahead and drop them in. I think this has been a great session. And this is going to be a bi-weekly event. So mark your calendar. It'll be on Monday most weeks. So I don't have anything to add to that. So just look out for that. If you've submitted a site and you didn't get it reviewed this time, that we will get to it. There's obviously only so much we can do in each one of these sessions, but I think it's an incredibly valuable information. Rohin's a very busy guy. So that he took the time to do this for us is I think very generous of him. So please be sure to show him your appreciation on that. And I'm going to drop the link to where you can apply in the future as well. So, and I think I rambled long enough to get a couple more questions out of everyone. Susan says, thank you.
All right.
Chris, Chiropractic and Wellness. There's your free plug. Says, thank you both. Hector asks, Rohin, what's the first thing you look for when doing a site audit?
That's a good question, Hector. The first thing what I always do is I pick the keyword, I pick the URL, I throw it in the Screaming Frog, and then I do the complete website audit. So I don't really go after the target URLs what the client has given.
We lost some sound from you there for a second. It seems like your microphone got moved or something.
Is that all good now?
Yeah, you're good now.
All right. So the first thing what I do is I pick that particular URL. Usually it's the home page, and then I throw it in Screaming Frog, and then I crawl the whole site. And then that tells me using the template, I'll probably throw the template in the morning in the comments as well. And then in the template, we Control C, Control V, download the stuff from Screaming Frog and put it in that. And then using the conditional data, and it just highlight everything all by itself. We don't need to do it all. They're all formulas and everything in that. And then we simply go and fix the 404s. We simply go and fix any meta titles, missing meta titles, meta description. We go and fix any kind of like more than one H1. I always put one H1 in my site. That's a rule of thumb what I've got. If we got more than one H1s, I usually go and change them to H2. It's a kind of a practice what I've used. So that stuff we do it. And then once that thing is done, like I told you, we got a template, and then in that template, what we do is we paste the URLs on which we are working and just populate, basically fetch all the information from their page itself. So they crawl and fetch the information and put it in the Google Sheet. And then my guys, they usually go and steal the meta title, meta descriptions, H1s and everything from bigger cities, like I said, and then we make the changes, get the approval from client and make the changes, and it works for us. And straight away we jump to the backlink side.
Great. Atomic Design, which I believe is Christopher, says, thank you guys. Chris says this is where you can get your website audit. He also says it on Facebook, Twitch, and Periscope. Pete says, what's the best way to present an audit to a client? A video presentation or one-to-one?
Like it depends on your geographical location as well. My geographical location doesn't allow me to go and have one-to-one with the client, although I do a lot of touring. But video presentation, that works great for us. Say all the client want is they want to see what the problem is with their website. And we just need to go and tell them, all right, this is what your site is. We take them through the same process what I showed over here. Probably like a half-an-hour video. We do a screencast, go through all their backlinks, show them that kind of things, and then simply, in reality, they don't really get an idea of what's all going on, and they always come and say, all right, tell me what you want to do now. So we go and tell them, all right, this is what you need to go ahead and get it fixed, and that's it. One of the things what I can actually mention up here, and that's something is a mindset. A lot of time, agencies usually come to us and they say, all right, we did the work, but the client paid for the second check, and then they said, we want to cancel the campaign. And that's where the problem comes in. The only reason, and Chris knows about this very well, because we've been working and we usually go like 6 to 8 months time as well, some of the bigger keywords. That's why, because we try to give a complete picture to the client. If they are giving you, let's say, 5 keywords, and you're going and telling them, all right, for these 5 keywords, this is where you are. Some of the keywords should be good. You'll probably be lucky enough to get them on a page 1, or sometimes they are on page 2 or something. And the client gonna think, oh, this guy is not really doing much, because they are not taking a proper impression. What you need to do is
your sound cut out a little bit again.
All right. So what you need to do is, rather than just focus on those 5 to 6 keywords and giving them as a report to your client, give them a 30,000 feet view or a 360-degree view of their entire campaign. So use a data studio, use agency analytics kind of thing, and show them what you did for the client. What are the total impressions the site has start getting? What are the additional keywords the site is getting now? Because usually they do not get an idea at all. And I'm telling you from my experience, like 6 out of 10 SEO agencies, when they go to the clients and they show them their main keywords only. And this is when the clients say, oh, you started from position number 10 and now you are position number 4 or 6 something. Maybe you guys after 3 months are not doing much work. But if you try to show them a complete GSC and GI kind of analytics, and there are plenty of data studio templates you're going to see online, in which you can simply attach your GA and GSC for their site and pull all the data in a very graphical representation way. You can show them. There is no way in the world they're gonna say that we are going away. Rather, they're gonna say, I'm like, all right, let's start working on the different projects as well. It's a very good thing what I'll do, and we always show a very detailed 5 pages automated report to our clients. And this is something is a custom built data studio we have built for our clients.
Great. We got one last question, and then we're going to call it a day. Calgary Homes, and there's your free plug, says, what are your thoughts on similar content? How much change is required on page to make your content appear to Google as unique? And is it that necessary?
Similar content. Is that
I think what he's asking is if he has a site and he has multiple pages, is it okay to just change the geo modifier, or how different do the pages have to be from one another?
Yeah, you can do that. You can change the geo modifier. I've got a plenty of examples where it's working, but for my particular project, that didn't work. So Google is giving me a hard time to actually index the pages. Now we have started, because we said like we test a lot of things. So now we have started actually changing the content for those pages. So yes, if you got a flexibility, if you've got resources and budget to have different content, then I would say go with that. Mass pages site, I don't think so. It's been long. I've left working on those ones. Mass page builder sites, that doesn't really work too much. Google do understand that kind of thing. Google do understand. They are smart enough to understand how much the content is actually similar to the other pages. They want to see the unique content, because they don't want to actually spend their crawl budget on something which is very similar to the other resource, no matter if it's the same site. So it's a very good practice. Go with unique content, and that's something what I recommend, because that's something what we do. We try to, if it's a local project, we usually try to keep like no more than 25 to 30% content. And for us, we simply go and tell the client, no, just let's get it changed. And majority of time, they usually don't refuse for that. They usually involve writers and get it changed as well. Have different content, then I would say,
all right. Calgary Holmes says, thanks for the event and information, guys. Thank you, Calgary Holmes. And there is a link if you want to get help from Rohin and I to help with your SEO. And if you'd like to get your website audited next week, or 2 weeks from now, or in the future, here is the link for that. So I think I have tons of meetings today, so we're going to have to wrap it up now. Do you have anything else you'd like to say, Rohin?
No, that's it pretty much, man. That's it. If there is anything which I've missed, or there's anything which is not really clear, you guys can always comment in the Facebook chat box, and then I'll reply back in the morning. Perfect. And yes, I'll go and send all those templates and something. What I'm saying, I'll send those ones, so that if that can help you guys a bit.
Perfect. Well, I appreciate you taking the time out to do this. I know you're a very busy guy, so we absolutely all appreciate it. Everybody, please thank Rohin when you have a moment in the chat, the comments, wherever you are. We'll do this again in 2 weeks, and I'll be back later this week and I know I dropped the ball on this last week, but I'll be back later this week with at least one more live stream with either a guest or just by myself. So be on the lookout for that. And you can always join us in the different Facebook groups, and I'm done pitching stuff. So thanks a lot, guys. Have a great one. Figure out what you want out of life and go out and get it, because you owe it to yourself and you owe it to the world. Peace.
All right. Bye-bye.